right, welcome back to Chart Request Live. My name is Patrick Donawella. I'm joined by Alfonso de Pablos. He's going to be on the charts today. Alfonso, how are you?
I'm good, Pat. I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
I'm doing well. So are you ready to DJ today?
I'm more than ready. Waiting for this moment.
There we go. I like that attitude. So let's start up. Anything in particular you're watching? I mean, we've had quite the comeback since you and I were on last week.
Yeah, I mean, markets are bouncing off the August 5 highs. Here is S&P 500. We can take a look at the Dow Jones Industrial Average bouncing. The chart that caught my attention the most is IWM, the Russell 2000, bouncing, like finding support at this previous resistance.
Right
That
around
was
200.
Yeah, exactly. Right at the 200 logical level, psychological level, and I mean
Yeah.
the best place for the bulls to step in, the most logical one, and they are doing it so far. So that's in my radar right now.
Yeah, and really nice momentum down there too, right? Didn't even get
Mhm.
oversold.
Yeah, that's a great point. Always momentum not getting oversold is a particular. It's a bullish data point, of course, and in these charts, in this particular chart, that's how it looks.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's all about 5,400 in the S&P this week. Here we're reclaiming it a little bit today. I think we're a little bit above it, right?
Mhm.
But we need to hold on to that. If we can reclaim that by the end of the week, I think bulls are back in control, and I think the worst is behind us. But
What's the level again?
5,400, and that's kind of that neckline, right?
Yeah.
So that
Yeah,
it's
that,
all about that. We're reclaiming it now, but we'll see if we can kind of hold on to it.
yeah,
Um,
that's an interesting one. I'm also dropping a big web from the all-time highs.
yep.
We're right there. We're reclaiming uh, this key level, this
Yeah.
neckline that Patrick is telling us. Definitely confluence of resistance here in the short term. So this is a big day for the market, in my opinion.
For sure, for sure. Let's dive right into it, shall we? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
All right. Let's kick it off with let's do KRYS. This one's from Nick. KRYS
Okay, let's
is
see what we have here.
Krystal Biotech.
Yeah, so the first thing I saw is a primary uptrend. This is a weekly chart. This stock came public in 2017. It has been started even higher since then. When we zoom in on a daily chart, we can see that it broke from this base
Oh yeah.
with a massive gap, with a massive move.
We traded that one actually, that little base breakout there. That was a nice one.
Sorry?
We traded that little base breakout there initially.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So if it drop a fib extension from this base, I take this price action as noise, as a failed move here. So if I measure the fib extensions, we're right here in a logical level. This is a 261.8% from this decline. So I think as long as we're above 165, 164 and a half, bulls are in control. We are consolidating within an ongoing uptrend. So my bet is to like a continuation of this uptrend. How do you see it?
I would agree. I completely agree. I think it's been following that Fibonacci extension that you have there pretty closely, right? So you
Yeah.
want to continue kind of using that, and your levels are pretty clearly defined for you right there, right?
Yeah, I like it. Also, again, as I mentioned before, look at momentum. Look at momentum since 2022. Never hit or oversold conditions. Here we're looking at look for the RSI, for the daily RSI. not even below 33. So bulls are in control, strong uptrend. It also seems to be, look at these moves, for example. They're pretty similar. Explosive move, consolidation, explosive move, consolidation. I don't know if it will come an explosive move, but at the end of the day, the trend is our friend, right? So I think we should err in direction of the underlying trend.
Yeah. And it's pretty amazing how it makes most of those moves between the fibs in like a day or two, right? So this is one that you might just be sitting in for a while, and then all of a sudden you hit your target. That could totally play out too.
Yeah, no, that's for
And
sure.
let's what do you think of the entire biotech space in general? You know, as long as we're looking at biotechs, and we have another one we're going to look at after this. So
Yeah. So yeah, this is daily chart of IBB. I think price similar to IWM. They retrace some of its gains after this decisive breakout, very similar to small caps. So I think this is a big level the buyers have to defend if they want to be in control. So for
yeah,
me, 138, 137, that's the big level for IBB and for biotech in general. That's for sure.
we're on the right side of it now, and I like again momentum didn't even get close to oversold there, so that's a nice retest there.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. That's a good point.
Let's move on to Teva Pharmaceuticals, TEVA.
It's EVA. Let's see. Wow, nice. Very nice. I really like this chart. I have been looking at this one in particular this week and during the weekend. What we see here is it's a huge decline. I mean, this stocks had like a drawdown of over 90% from its peak in 2015, and it has been carving out uh, a rounding bottom formation, a big reversal base. We know this kind of basing patterns take times. So, we have been in this base building process for 5 years. Now it seems it's trying to breaking out, coiling in a very tight range.
Yeah, why don't you zoom
So,
in on that? Let's see what that looks like.
yeah, for sure.
Oh
It's
man.
very tight. And I remember, for example, Ferrari
Oh
from last week,
yeah,
that tight range.
yeah.
And what I like from these tight ranges is that from compression in volatility come expansion, and I think this could be a good one to trade in the future.
So
If
how would you play it? Give us some levels.
Yeah. So another point is if I drop a VWAP from
Ooh,
the all-time highs,
look at
it's
that.
right there. So it fits all our criteria, honestly.
Wow.
I really
Makes a
like it.
lot more sense now, doesn't it? Why it just flatlined there.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like it the most. So I think above 1775, let's call it that. I really like this one. I think the path of the resistance will be higher. Let's see if we drop some retracement level. I think we can go to 31 and
Yeah,
even.
now I think that makes a lot of sense for a target because look at that gap. I mean, that's right where it was before it gapped down. So you got a lot of people who have been underwater for years since 2017.
Yeah, that's a great point.
And when it
That's a great.
finally returns to that, you got to imagine there might be some selling pressure there.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, Patrick. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah, so
So I
that's
will play this tight range, looking for an explosive move towards 31. But again, it's in a base building process, so this reversal in the trend takes some time.
right. Yeah. But once it gets going, I mean, that is a nice move there. So I mean, 1750 to 31, that's a really nice move. So almost a double, not quite, but let's move on. Let's hit the chat. So this one's from H-Chan, PSN, 6-month time frame.
PSN,
Yeah,
nice. I mean, very, very nice.
yeah,
Strong uptrend. Look at this monster-based breakout from here, from let's see, from 2023 last year. It has been ripping higher. Strong uptrend, consolidating around the around the trend, resolving higher. I think this is not the exception in the past few days.
yeah. I mean, that consolidation there happened at a pretty logical level, right?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Let me throw the Fibonacci again.
And that's really why we always use Fibonacci for our targets, or a lot of the times we use it because when you hit those levels, a lot of the times, even if you don't sell off sharply, you'll have a period where you just kind of go sideways like that last chart that we just looked at, right?
Yeah, no, that's right. You can define your risk. I mean, it gives you like a hint, right? To how do you want to define risk? It really helps you. In my case, I think above 85, or above this key high from here. This is a breakaway gap from this small base.
Yeah.
So for me, above 85, I think bulls are in control. You don't want to see prices break below 85 because it will be again in a range.
So, but what would you wait for a retest on this one, or you think you're okay buying here? How,
No, I will buy a retest to 85. I think that's my level. I think right now we're not even close. We're at 92 or so. So I will wait for a pullback from to these former highs, and I will take a shot because right now I think we're right in the middle of the entry point and a potential exit.
yeah.
Um, how, how do you see it?
I would completely agree. I mean, if you really wanted to get in here, I guess you could get in here and then just put a stop at that, at the lows of the gap there. But I think you're best off waiting for a retest on this one.
Nice, yeah, yeah, I like it.
And
Like
it's
very
it's
good
not
start.
far enough away where you're not going to get the retest. I think you're probably going to get a retest at some point. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
It hasn't taken off too much, but it's taken off enough to where risk and reward is a little messed up if you get in here.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. That's for sure. What else do we have?
Well, so what about a target for this one? Would you use the fib
Yeah,
from just this small little 2-month base, or would you look for the next fib in the longer term?
I think you can. I mean, the first target would be one third worth 13, and over longer time frame, I think 167, 168
I see.
would be like a ideal next target, of course.
I see. I like it.
Yeah,
So let's move on to Cava.
Cava,
Yeah.
nice. I mean, beautiful chart, honestly. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. The stock came public a year ago, and it's interesting how like all the new stocks that came public, they tend to retrace at the beginning, and then they carve out like a nice base and then start ripping higher.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's not always the case with IPOs, but especially last
Yeah,
cycle, just the nature of it, where you had all
exactly.
the companies just rush to go public in a 1-year window, and then it was followed by this really nasty bear market where growth just got killed. So a lot of those growth stocks that almost all the growth stocks that went public in 2021 or 2020 have that initial decline where right after going public, you get a 60, 70, 80% haircut. I mean, and I
That's
think
a really good point, honestly.
looking at how those have done since then, is it a Cava where it's already well above its IPO highs, or is it something like a Zoom or something like that that's just in
Mhm.
a massive drawdown still, and that kind of separates things, right?
Yeah, yeah, no,
Beginners
that's
and
for sure.
users of that IPO class.
So yeah, I mean, again, the Fibonacci, the extensions doing their work. Sometimes they don't act as resistance, but when the price pierces through these levels, after that they tend to act as support, as we see here. This is a perfect example. Um,
That's a
how it,
great point. Yeah. There's been so
yeah,
many times where I'll see a fib and I'll be like, oh, that's going to be resistance. And it doesn't. It just blows right through. But then that level comes into play later as support or something like that, where
yeah, exactly.
these
Yeah, yeah,
are
yeah.
key levels, right? That's kind of how we think about them. They won't always act as supporter and resistance. And we're kind of judging based on how they respond and whether they act as support or resistance. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. And when I look to Cava, it happened twice this year between March and April, and now this month, finding support in different uh, key levels. So what stands out also, momentum never hit oversold conditions. That's a point for the bulls. It's approaching to new all-time highs. How do you play this one, Pat?
Oof. I uh I think I would just play that base that you just drew and just play it short term, and I would fib out that and just use that fib target. I mean, the fibs you had there, I think was good long term. And if you are in this one for the longer term or want to sit in for it a while, I would use those. But if you just want a quick trade here, I would be using that.
So this base, you will measure this base.
Yeah, but I guess that's not a ton of upside there though, right?
Not upside, but sometimes I like how do you see it, and it makes sense to me. I think this shelf former highs from early this year are a good level to define your risk. Um,
Another thing I'll do sometimes is I'll keep this fib and then also put in the last fib you had. And then sometimes you have two that kind of line up at a similar level, like the 261.8 might align with the 161 on the other one. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, definitely.
You could kind of do that too.
I
Uh,
like it. I like it.
but yeah, this one definitely setting up nicely and looks like it wants an all-time high. If not today, then some point this week maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
no, for sure. But I think we both agree above 98. You have like a green light for this one, in my opinion.
totally. Yeah. So this one's from Raul.
Yeah.
Let's look at Palo Alto Networks, PANW. His take, gap fill, then all-time high. And he noted earnings are coming up too soon.
Nice. So, I mean, again, a structural uptrend. Um, this one has been kind of messy lately. It's
Yeah,
trying to fill this massive gap. Wow, this was very wild, honestly.
yeah, that giant gap. Yeah.
So, hmm, how will I play it? I try to drop a lot of fibs here because it's kind of messy. Um, look, when I draw two fibs from different decline, from this different correction, they fit and they coincide at this level. When
Right.
the
Kind
gap
of underscoring why that correction kind of there happened, right?
exactly. So let's take this one.
I think you probably just want to wait for that base to resolve, right? And wait for it to clear, wait for a new all-time high, actually.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the first step I think will be to fill this gap and test these all-time highs to see how it reacts the stock at those highs, and then you can trade this small base similar to Cava. But also, if you want to be more aggressive, you can try and trade. I will say trade it above.
I don't think that's crazy. I do not think that's crazy because, because of where that fib lines up and you have that little weird breakout there, I think if it reclaims that level, that's good enough. You can jump in before you get the breakout to all-time highs. I think that's probably the way to do it.
Yeah, I think 350. I think you can take a shot. Target 540. But definitely, the most important from this chart, my takeaway is consolidation within an ongoing uptrend.
A very strong uptrend too, right?
Yeah, very strong
important
uptrend.
because it kind of makes your entry a little less important if you are looking towards a longer term position. Obviously, your entry is always important, but yeah, you don't have to be as picky, I think, if you're looking for 540 as your target.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. What do we have next?
All right, let's see. Let's skip down a little bit. Let's look at RKT.
RKT, yeah. I mean, I really like this one. I think this big from these all-time highs, from this spike here, it tells.
It was resistance all year. Probably
it tells very, very well the story. You have this peak from March 2022, and then all of these shallow farmer highs. Again, big drawdown. The stock has been in a base building process, takes times. Maybe we thought it was ready to go in December or early this year. It took a little bit more, but now it's breaking out with conviction. Not only above a key resistance level, but the big one from that all-time highs make this level more important. So.
Yeah. And you already got the retest there, right? It's almost like it told you this is for real this time, right? Because it tested it from above and it held and then just exploded off of it again.
Exactly. That's a good point. And what I like from this range in particular, again, momentum never hit oversold conditions. That's a good like a hint, right? This consolidation, the buyers are in control.
Yeah, and I was just looking up short interest here. It's about 12%, a little under 12%. So
that's interesting.
Nothing huge, but also not small either, right?
It helps for a potential squeeze. I mean, not only because it has some short interest, but also because it was in a very tight range at the end. So it comes like an explosive move higher, short interest.
Yeah, and you got to imagine, especially these last few days, here it is hitting multi-year highs. You got to imagine those shorts are getting increasingly less patient, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. And that's like the perfect combination for an explosive move. Even if you look, we're heading towards the 38 retracement from the ultimate high.
So I was going to bring that up. We have all that overhead supply from closer to when it came public there, like the IPO lows and all that. That all lines in that 20 area. So do you think, we've kind of probably we could kind of struggle here for a little bit?
I mean, yeah, well, it is a level of interest, the 20. That's for sure. That's the 38 retracement from this entire decline. But also this level that we are right now, it's kind of interesting here. These are the lows from the IPO. This little low here, this high from here.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I guess we kind of are kind of above that. The way you drew it there with the IPO lows, it is kind of cracking that.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. So this is a big reversal in RKT. I really like it. I think the trade was above 15. That was the level you had there, the pullback. So
I like it. I like it. Let's move on to HIMS. Now this one, he's looking at it as a short setup, potential short. Just
HIMS.
broke a bunch of VWAPs. Yeah, retest of 12, he's saying. And this one, I mean, this was looking so good. It was a beautiful base breakout, and then it failed. And that's why you really got to respect those breakout levels. If the breakout doesn't work, if it gets back below those, you got to err on the side of caution.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. So now what I'm doing, it's like the inverse here. I'm taking from this uptrend, from this low from 2022 to the basically the all-time high from this year.
Right. So as before you were looking at extensions, now you're looking at the fib retracements.
Exactly, from this entire move. I think this is a big level, 16, right?
Yeah.
This is definitely a big level. This high from March. The fact that we are now below this level and below this peak, it makes me think we maybe are heading towards 1130, that 12 level that you mentioned.
Yeah, fill that gap, right?
Yeah, exactly. Feel this gap, and look this one too.
Would you short it here though?
I think you can define risk. I think you can define your risk at this level. I mean, it makes perfect sense for this level to be important.
Maybe
By the Fibonacci retracement. Sorry?
Maybe puts or something like that, 16.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I think we might see a move towards 1134, 12.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, as long as we're below 1650, I think the bias for this stock is lower or maybe sideways at
Now let's
best.
say we reclaim 16 in the next few days. Would you flip long and then play it back to 25?
I will flip long. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. So the bias will change. I mean, yeah, that's for sure. I will expect like a sideways range between 26 or 25, 16. But if I want to be long this one, I will.
You need to see it above 16 or 16.
Yeah, I like to play breakouts, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah. You get the
Yeah,
momentum behind you with it too.
exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to let's do GSL. This one's
GSL.
Rajesh. Hope I said that right. From Dubai, all the way from Dubai.
This one. Yep.
GSL. What is this? Global Ship Lease. Is this a shipping company?
Yeah, marine shipping. 1 billion company. Yep.
Yeah, marine shippers were going crazy a few months ago. They've kind of died down, but what was it? Probably 3-4 months ago, about 3 months ago, they were just going nuts.
So this is a beautiful base, right, Pat?
Oh yeah. Beautiful base that didn't work out though. Kind of nasty rejection.
It didn't work out. It takes time, but look at this movement. It makes sense to see some digestion at this level, at this prior cycle high from 2022.
For sure. Yeah. A lot of times, especially when you have a big drawdown, a lot of the times when it completes the base, you'll get kind of a sell off, and that'll create kind of a handle, right? And that's how you end up with a cup and handle.
Yeah, no, that yeah, exactly. I would expect like
semiconductors. So that's pretty common.
yeah, like a little base here, touching again and challenging this key resistance level again, and then breakout. The risk is very well defined. I like it above 30. Until then, I will expect more sideways action. That's for sure.
I like it. So just kind of waiting, sitting tight until we get that 30 level, and then
Yeah, exactly.
playing it back to 39.50 there.
Yeah, 39.50 or 54 over longer time frames. Yeah, that's how I say it.
I like it. I like it. Let's move on to Klaviyo.
What's the ticker?
What's KVYO.
Okay. I think we saw this one Thursday. I think that you.
Yes, yeah. This one, I know we've looked at this one several times.
Yeah, that you.
It looks good, right?
Yeah, I mean, it looks good. Yeah, massive gap, basically near all-time lows now at a key resistance level.
Yeah, you could even call that a breakaway gap. I mean, it cleared that. Was that the March highs there? And
yeah, the July ones. This one.
yeah.
Yeah, the July ones, and now yeah, trying to overtake the February highs. Again, as I mentioned, I think Thursday we may see some consolidation here, some sideways action here, like digesting this massive gap, and then ideally we can see like an upside resolution from this base. I mean, this turned out to be a basing process, so I like it.
Where would you play this one?
Let me see if some fibs here. I don't think we need some fibs. I think about 32 and a half. Let's call it 30. Yeah, exactly. Towards 40, I will say. That's how I do it. Yeah.
Really nice breakout those last few days there.
Yeah.
So we got one more. Let's take a look at. Sorry, I just lost it. Insider call buying on APPN.
Sorry?
Think it is APPN.
Oh yeah. A lot of insider activity in this name, coming at a logical level of support, right?
Yeah.
Look at this big support, big level here. I think 28, 29. Definitely not looking good in my opinion. Stock is pressing against multi-year lows.
Would you buy it here?
I'm not a big fan of buy weakness. I don't know. I don't like this one. I will wait for a base to be created here. Ideally, we will see if that happen in the future. But for now, it doesn't look attractive for me for the long side. Even though you have a very well-defined risk level, it's not the kind of stocks that I'm looking at to buy. I mean, if you want to take a shot at these levels, I think it's up to you.
I think you could play it here if you wanted to. I agree with you. It's not, I prefer buying strength too, but if you wanted to play a false move, you probably could, right? Wait for it to reclaim 30 and then maybe throw a stop at these lows here.
Yeah, that will make sense. That's one way to play that.
Just look. Okay, short interest is only 5%, so really nothing.
5%, yeah. I mean, and even though we're seeing some insider activity in this name, that doesn't mean we want to buy the stock, right?
Right,
We don't
right.
want to do that. We want to wait for price to confirm the insider's information at the end of the day.
I would agree. Yeah,
Um,
I mean, it's always nice to see an insider buying, and that's usually a good jumping off point. But then ultimately, we like to see the chart confirm, and that stuff's kind of like the cherry on top, right? It's
yeah, and for example,
helps the
Riley.
interest, all that stuff.
Yeah, and for example, Riley, it's a good example. I mean, we have seen a lot of directors buying this stock, and
True.
then look at what happened. Massive gap. It was slammed yesterday, like 50% down. So that doesn't mean we want to buy a stock. We want to wait for a confirmation of price, and that's how we do it here.
I like it. So we had one more come in. This one is ERJ. That's Embraer.
RJ,
ERJ, yeah.
this one.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
Embraer, yeah. Make planes.
Nice. So let's see. And it's approaching a fib retracement from all this correction phase. I think if we take a look at the daily chart, the trend is now up. It's reversing higher. I mean, I will define my risk in this level. I think the 2018 highs. Remember what happened in 2018 when global markets peaked, the S&P. So that's a key prior cycle high in my opinion. I would just define risk at this level if you really want to get involved of these stocks. And again, very tight range at this level in my opinion, looking for an expansion in volatility to the upside.
Yeah, I mean, if you zoom in a little closer, I get what you're saying about the 61.8, but that's a nice little range breakout we had today. You could probably figure out something from there, right?
Yeah,
You'd be looking for resistance as to for targets, right?
sorry.
At this point, you probably want to be looking for like if okay, let's say you bought this little range breakout, right? The last few days, where would you be
Okay.
looking for a target?
Well, I think this space is very small to trade. I mean, I like to trade this kind of ranges, but we don't have enough upside potential if we draw Fibonacci. I think the range is not even like wide. It's not wide enough to measure this base. So that's why I'm like zooming out a little bit. Let me find a level here. How do you play this one? How do you see it?
Let's see. Yeah, I would be looking back to those 2014 highs, but I see what you're saying. I mean, it looks good in terms of the fact that the trend's up, coming out of that little consolidation, but your upside is probably capped on this one.
Yeah, a lot of big levels here. You have the 2014 highs as you mentioned. Then you have the 2007 highs. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I will look for 52.
Yeah, if you
But
really,
you have to understand that you have a lot of barriers
that's all right. I mean, you don't
in the
have
way.
to on this one, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Well, Alfonso, let's leave it here for today.
Yeah.
But we'll be back on Thursday. So make sure you email us any tickers that you want us to take a look at. You can email us at questions@stockmarketmedia.com, and we'll be sure to get to those first next time. Thank you guys again. I'm Patrick Donuilla. Alfonso de Pablos on the charts today. Great job.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.